Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my continuation of money making builds and methods for update 1.31. So we're already on day 3, we've already had the Audi RS5 DTM covered as well as a double method for the CLK and this time we are going to go for a user submitted one from over on my Discord using the legendary Ferrari 330 P4. So all credit goes to Coda for this one. It's a great little build. In all honesty, it makes use of those more expensive cars in the game, which I absolutely love. If you do have your own, feel free to head into my Discord and go over there and submit your own. Now for this one, we're going to use the racing soft tyres to begin with. Now tyre wear is rather quite easy, to be honest, at Le Mans, which is where this car is going to be built for. It's essentially going home. So in terms of the body height, it's all pretty much standard as well as the differential. I believe nothing is changed from the regular one. I am just copying his settings exactly. Transmission is going to be normal. We are not changing that. However, we do have 4 on the ballast as well as a positioning of -50. So just ensure you copy those down. We are not limiting power on the power restrictor. However, over here on the ECU, we are limiting it to 91. Downforce at the front is the minimum at 50 and the maximum at the rear of 200, and nothing else needs changing apart from this little bit down here for the increased body rigidity. So a very simple setup. So in terms of using this build, we're going to head over into Europe and go up here to the left. It's going to be in France at Le Mans, and the middle track there, the World Touring Car 700 event. So go ahead and enter that. Now let's talk about the build overall. To be quite honest, this is a car for the longest time that I've massively struggled to drive in its normal standard setup. It's one that I've kind of ignored because of that. I just found the overall drive not to be too enjoyable. Then Coda came along and posted this one up in the Discord, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to give it another try. And in all honesty, by limiting the power down to 91, overall this car is much more enjoyable and much more controllable to drive, and has become one of my instant favourites just for the way it feels. Coda did go on to say that this is one of his builds that he's kind of running quite often, saying that, you know, when the rear end does step out, if it even does at all, usually when it kind of begins to rain, you can basically catch those slides and just slide about quite easily, very controllable, and overall it's just a very, very nice car to drive, and I fully agree with him. This is a car destined to win Le Mans. It's one that you'll need towards the Platinum Trophy, and in all honesty, you may as well make some use of all that money that you've put out getting this car. So let's get into the strategy that I ran at Le Mans. This is what you want to do. You want to turn the engine fuel all the way down to lean at fuel mix 6. Now this will still give you plenty enough power in terms of getting around the track, as well as being able to absolutely outrun the AI. They top out around about 150 to 165 depending on which AI you're looking at. We are going to be topping out in the 170 mile an hour even at fuel mix 6. The reason I suggest doing this and, you know, turning the engine straight down is mainly because I've noticed the weather at Le Mans seems to be very different to what it was previously. Quite often I'd get rain on lap 2 or 3 and that would be pretty much set in stone for every run I did. However, lately I've been getting rain as late as lap 5, so realistically stretching your fuel out is a massive benefit because, well, it seems much more random at this point. Now overall this is going to be a single stop strategy. It's very easy, very good on fuel and very, very good on tyre life. The tyre life on these softs is very, very good here at Le Mans. The deg is just not aggressive at all. You won't really even notice a drop off, so, you know, bonus points for that one. So even when the tyres do start giving way, you won't really notice it, and that's kind of, you know, I guess a point to the car that it's just overall a very easy car to drive. It's a very pretty car to look at. It sounds great and it feels absolutely amazing. Now in terms of your overall difficulty, I recommend just putting it on easy. This is because you want to be able to do a stop and wait if the opportunity arises. Now you're actually going to see what I managed to do in the end, where I could have stopped and waited, but I just decided to throw in an extra lap anyway. That's just because I was kind of just showing off. I ended up lapping the whole grid over this entire run, which I just found quite funny considering it's never really happened to me before. I think the rain just kind of got them stranded in the middle of the track. So let's move on to when realistically you should be taking the lead and you won't have to worry about the AI at all. I honestly did it on this back straight here, so just after you come off the main ones, you'll take a right turn, and then this is realistically when you should be overtaking the leader. You have plenty more power to pull on them. Once you get to lap 2, you want to start watching the weather radar. This is kind of monitoring for rain. If you've got it set at fuel mix 6, you won't have to worry about your fuel for at least another 3 laps. Now I did start getting rain on the radar around about halfway around lap 2. This is when I began to see the kind of the blue forming. It didn't actually, really come in until around about lap 3 to lap 4, so I didn't have to worry really about the rain. As you can see, we did get blotches of rain, however it was pretty much just going past me constantly. Eventually the rain would come in on lap 4. It did begin around about the beginning of the lap, but in all honesty it didn't come down too heavy until around about the end of the lap. So it was perfect timing to match up with when the fuel was going to run out, so it was time to just get myself in the pits, get myself on some intermediates, and that would be us done and dusted in terms of our pit stop for the overall event. So when you do pit, you want to put a fresh set of tyres on, whatever you need, whether that be another set of softs. Realistically, they don't really burn out, so you can stay on the same compound if you want to. And then obviously if you need intermediates or heavy wets, do put them on. You don't really want to get stranded out in a very heavy rainstorm. At Le Mans, it's a big track, and there is nothing worse than being in the middle of it and spinning yourself around because you're stuck because of the rain. It does quite often happen to the AI, which is probably why I managed to lap them pretty much all over these entire 7 laps that I did. So once you put the tyres on, you do want to fill the car to full. This will just make sure that you get all the way to the end. Realistically, you will have plenty of fuel left by the end anyway. However, I do recommend just taking a full tank just in case. You never really know. As you can see, when we come out the pits, the rain is beginning to slow, but there is still some left on the radar. So there we go. You want to be aiming for a one-stop method no matter what the weather is on your, run through. We did start lapping the cars on around about lap 6. As you can see, the BMW was stranded out in nowhere. And then a little bit later on, we started getting into a big pack of traffic. Now, if this does happen, don't worry if you hit them and such. You won't lose your clean race bonus. That's why I'm keeping this bit of footage in, just to explain that. In terms of your clean race bonus, the only way you're going to lose it is actually through ignoring yellow flags. So that's the only thing you want to be aware of when you are near the AI. Just, if you see a yellow flag out, take a step back and just kind of hold off until it's cleared. You can get track limit penalties and ramming penalties or hit the AI or whatever, and it won't affect that clean race bonus. Now, as you can see on lap 6, I could have stopped and waited if you look at the gap that we do have to second place and the overall time we have left. However, instead of sitting for 3 minutes, I decided just to lap the entire grid, with the final car being lapped on the final few corners. As you can see here, the Dodge Viper just cruising around, and we're just going to work our way past it as we finalise our 7 laps in the Ferrari 330 P4. So overall, we had plenty of fuel left as well. We did manage to turn the engine up on the final lap because I knew I wouldn't have to go around again, and that is going to be job done for the Ferrari. A massive shout out to Coda for this build. It was absolutely fantastic and a joy to drive. So let's have a look how this car did overall. We did 7 laps in 30 minutes, 49 seconds, 0.915, basically doing an extra 7th lap just for the sake of it. Our fastest lap came on lap 3, even with the engine turned down, which was a 4 minutes 10.029. So overall, the 1 lap pace really is here for the car. If you turn it fully up to fuel mix 1, you can be expecting very low 4 minutes, or even into the 3 minutes if you do push fast enough, but I don't really recommend that. So in terms of your payout, you should know this one by now, but it's going to be 825,000 credits in around about 30 minutes. Whether you do the stop and wait or not is completely your decision, and it's very dependent on the weather. So you really need to hope and pray for rain to be able to pull that one off. We also got a 4-star ticket, which was absolutely useless and gave me, I believe, some weight reduction part for a car I'm not going to use. So Polyphony, please change that. Now that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Finally, we have a use for one of the legendary cars in the game, which is required for a trophy. So I thought, I've put all this money out. It's a car I've never got on with, and if you are in the same boat as me, I do fully recommend giving this build a try. It's fantastic overall. It's very easy to drive, and whilst it's not overall the quickest, it does make use of one of the more expensive cars in the game, and certainly one of the nicest looking cars in the game. So tomorrow we'll be moving on to day 4. We'll be heading back to Sardinia to cover some of the Group C builds for the next couple of days. I'm going to try and get all of those covered, as well as the weekend. We'll also have the Suzuki Escudo 22-minute build, which is fantastic and which was emailed over to me, I believe, by the original founder. If this video has helped you out, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and motorsport content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. Massive thank you to my sponsors, the Controller People and Poggers, for their continued support. My Discord, my Twitter and my donation link will be in the description down below. Feel free to submit your own tunes in there. Have a fantastic day, guys. Peace.